Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Magic Arena Run. Today we are going to be taking a look at Midweek Magic. This time they're actually tying it together to the ladder. So this one's an Alchemy ladder showcase. So when you join, you get your choice of five different decks. All of these are out, oh, oh, and instead of just throwing you in the special Midweek Magic only queue, this one is actually throws you into the ladder. So as you'd notice that I'm currently in plat. I'm just chilling up there. So it in you will be playing this in platinum. We got five different options here. I'm surprised to see Boros equipment as an option. I'm not surprised to see mono white soldiers. They say this one has been doing quite well. Mid range is also a solid one. Controls expected. Five color legends. Let's start with the most consistent one. Let's go to the right. And be advised that we're not going to necessarily see what we're going to go. Okay, so what makes this alchemy? The Leonin War Leader makes alchemy. Rescue Retriever is not an alchemy card. Impassioned Orator, this is an alchemy card. That one's there. Hallowed Priest, definitely alchemy card, but that doesn't exactly make this mono white soldiers. Also, this one is awfully dumb. They give us 4 copies of Benelish Sleeper, but no black mana. So what gives, man? This feels like a mistake. I'm gonna play this one, but I'm pretty sure somebody messed up here. I'm gonna see if there's a way to edit the deck. No, it's only view and submit. So this one feels like a mistake. Whoever was building this probably made a mistake on that soldier slot. Actually, so I would not be surprised if I lose with this one. Yeah, this one makes 0 sense. Well, we'll see what we go up against. Well, I'm also pretty sure I'm gonna lose rank if this is what I have to play with. Like, yeah, Impassioned Orator, Elspeth. I feel like this is more like someone's pile. I don't think this was intended to be a. This is intended to be the deck we're going up with. Anyway, definitely want to mulligan this. This one is much better. Oh yeah, there's also by Elspeth's command. That one is So we'll have to bin Mirel. Also, do we actually have, well, we have Impassioned Orator, so there's that life gain. But I think that's the only amount of life gain we have. I might rather just run out the 2 1-drops later. Opponent's clearly white-blue. We also have a Survivor for this, so let's swing first. Let's see if our opponent has a response to this. I should have cast the Survivor first, but I can also just cast the Recruitment Officer. I'm just gonna run all these out. Let's hope our opponent doesn't. Now there is a temporary lockdown would be an issue though it looks like our opponent doesn't have it. Doing that just to get the boon. Yeah, and also banish a Knight Commander is a good. So this is a Knight. So yeah, this is definitely not a Soldier's deck. Let's see. If I cast this one, I will definitely probably cast this one. It's better than. Yeah, it's probably. I'd rather cast this one, let it get countered, rather than just opening myself up to a possible board wipe. Also note that I probably should cast this earlier. Oh, opponent. That's a lot of life gain. So this looks like a long-term game plan. I'm expecting a board wipe. Oh no, this is Conundrum of the Bulls. This is definitely a long-term deck. I'm gonna just swing as is. Now, because of the nature of these boons, I can just probably keep stacking these. I'll probably just use this end of turn. So opponent's now going for greater than number of. There's your Sunfall. So I was expecting that. That's why I did not activate. So this one doesn't do anything. I go with the Impassioned Orator here. Let's see if they have another one. Yeah, let's just create this soldier token. That will pump this one. This will force our opponent to have another Sunfall. So what's that third effect there? You may cast a spell. Okay, they're actually passing. I'm not liking that I'm flooding right now. Do I have a soldier? Yeah, I have one soldier. Might as well do this now because it's already on board. Probably gonna 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Probably gonna eat farewell incoming. I actually made a mistake. I should have at least cast one more creature so that I should have at least cast one more creature so that this one will go over this one. Opponent probably going for a Soul Partition. That's fine. I get to cast it again. It's a bit shrunk up this time. Maybe our opponent counters it. Probably. Okay, just return it to hand. Okay. Opponent played the long counter spell game. So this one I can pump and give it flying, so that's kind of our game plan. We're just gonna try to fly over this guy here. Yeah, the Bendelish Sleeper feels awfully weird. Like it's just there's a 2-mana 3/1, but there are many other options for that. At least give us the black mana for this one. Opponent is drawing quite a lot of cards though. So I could play the Leonin War Leader, but this one I definitely want to use the give vigilance thing. This one I'm actually gonna try to trade up. I'm not gonna cast this one yet. Next turn, I'll probably just use choose a soldier +1/+1 gain flying. That's the nature of this kind of deck. That's you really want to mitigate the amount. I'm expecting a farewell any moment now. One ring, okay, some protection. We're gonna see a lot of that one ring for quite a while. So we're not fooling anyone. Might as well cast that. I'm going to avoid using the add a soldier token. Opponent's gonna go soul partition that. That one's not the worst. In fact, I don't mind casting it again. Opponent actually did not even try to draw cards with this. They are kind of... Okay, now they're drawing cards. I guess, yeah, their timing is kind of right. They could have drawn cards a lot earlier, so they We're missing the life gain. Okay, there's the expected sunfall. Elspeth's might does hit this one. Let's see if our opponent has actual counter spells. Nope, it's just a reprieve. Puts it back. Okay, we'll probably just cast this one. Yeah, again, make no sense, but here we are. Now we'll see if we can outpace our opponent. Opponent probably has drawn another One Ring by this point. If not, they're digging for their third Sunfall. They probably have other board wipes as well. No, they're going for Conundrum. I think this is the Azorius control deck. We'll double check when we get there. There's a Valiant Veteran. Let's see if our opponent has a. Okay, just gain some life. And I am definitely not casting that. Opponent's bound to hit their Sunfall soon. They are bound to. So Union at the third path, pretty good at buying time. Opponent probably gonna play their second One Ring to buy some even more time. Well, that also buys quite a bit of time. There should be another One Ring coming down soon. They have drawn a lot of cards, so unless they have a way to reshuffle a lot of these, this might be a problem for our opponent. I'm expecting another Sunfall at any moment now. And they have to pitch cards, probably lands. Pitching lands. Another Soul Partition. Okay, that is expected. They'll go for the obvious block. We do have an Elspeth Smite, so at least we're in. Now I could just cast this one and leave up mana. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna leave up mana. Opponent's yet to hit their. Okay, I'm actually gonna check out the Azorius control deck next, cause did they literally give them only one copy of the One Ring, or is there another copy coming soon? Yeah, they're already at 1/3 of the deck left. There's the Sunfall, so it's expected. Shame that this gets exiled, so we don't get that benefit. Yeah, opponent actually concedes. Okay, if that is the. Okay, maybe I spoke too soon about mono white, but the deck was definitely poorly built. But we'll take that win. Win's a win. Okay, let's also claim that. We'll check the Azorius control deck because I suspect that might be it. Hey, Blossoming Tortoise. I almost said blooming there. So let's double check. Because yep. Conundrum of Bulls, that one. Multiple copies of Horned Lock Whale. Only 2 copies of the One Ring, not the 4 of, so that explains it. Ah. Do I actually have to craft these? So that's a bummer. They show you the decks, but you have to actually craft the cards. So like for example, if I were to craft this one, that's a bummer. Let's take a look at the Boros equipment. How many cards do we have to craft? Probably a lot too. Okay, too many. So as far as events go, this one's a bit of a bummer. If I have to craft all these cards just to try them out, I I have no reason to play anything else then. So I'm definitely not. So that's a bit of a shame. So I could conceivably craft this one. This I'm only missing a few cards here. And what are the three rares I'm missing? It's just these, probably some Hornlock Whales and these two. So this one's actually not too bad to craft. I'll probably craft this one. But yeah, this feels like a really bad format. At least they give you the mono white soldiers now, in the sense that, yeah, and almost everyone will have the cards for this one. So this one is a default everyone will have. But man, I'm probably only gonna be playing 3 games with this. I probably will not be playing with Boros equipment or the other one because, uh, or the 5 color legend, because that's too many rares. I am not willing to spend cards on. I do have a bank of cards I could spend them on, but probably not the format I want to spend it on. Anyway, so we can buy some time with this, but the Silver Scrutiny is looking really bad. Let's see if we can buy some time with this, but I can understand now why our opponent is having the hardest time with that deck. So we'll play the island. I suspect that this might be a mirror match, which will make this awfully awkward. Let's see what our opponent has. Impulse, not worth retrieving. Also note that Scatter Ray, it does counter artifacts, so this isn't out to the 1 ring. But then again, our opponent was taking a lot of damage from their own 1 ring. That begs the question that do I even bother? Okay, so this one isn't instant, so we can wait on this. Yeah, this is the mirror match. I don't feel like countering this. Opponent is eventually gonna have to play something. Here's the 1 ring. Yeah, that is why we waited. So now our opponent only has 1 more copy left. We do need to hit that 1 more land. I'll be annoyed if it turns out our opponent did have another one. Oh well. The reason I played that's because we needed to make our land drops. We were missing a lot of mana. They hit their second 1 ring. Yeah, that's a shame. Now, Soul Partition, it does exile target non-land permanent, so we're gonna discard anyway. Okay, we hit our land drop, so can't complain too much. Opponent's gonna start refilling cards. I can Soul Partition and hold up Reprieve for the time being. I'm also expecting it to be a matter of time before our opponent starts dropping Hornlock Whales. I'm actually surprised our opponent didn't do that. Did they just not draw into it? Now, I could also play Conundrums. It does seek cards, but it does leave me open. I'm probably... If X is 3 or less, I could draw 3 cards. Yeah. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to wait. Opponent goes for the Impulse. Okay, that tap is a bit mistake, so I can't cast Reprieve anymore. But I can still cast Scatter Ray. At least this means that I am going to be able to keep our opponent off 1 ring. In worst case scenario, Silver Scrutiny X equals 1, which is super boring, but it has to be done. Opponent's not going to go for it, which is smart. There's another Soul Partition. Definitely going to wait on it. We can just take our time making tokens, I guess. Opponent did not make tokens with their Mirex, even though it was their end of turn, I guess. So we are gonna do that. And kind of remind our opponent, yes, that option is available. Take a sequence post. Our opponent might just be waiting for Sunfall, I guess. That is an issue. Opponent goes Silver Scrutiny, X equals 3. I could reprieve that. No, if it's just drawing cards, it doesn't feel that word problematic. I might end up just doing it ourselves. Yeah, we did miss a few land drops though. We can also probably drop one of these whales. We know there are 4 of them. This is basically Sunfall bait, I'll be honest. We're just forcing our opponent to eventually do something. We do need to discard soon, so opponent goes for a Soul Partition. I could cast Reprieve to draw a card. I'm just doing this to see if I can hit a land drop. Nope, just another Reprieve. Opponent actually letting it go, not going for it again. So, yeah, I'm going to end it. I'm probably gonna just pitch. They're gonna make their own token. So I definitely want to hold up Scatter Ray. I guess I pitch one Silver Scrutiny. No, actually, we pitch one. I pitch one Conundrum, I guess. So I guess Conundrum probably combos better. Like if with the number of cards in hand, I can set Silver Scrutiny X equals something. It's a mana value check. Opponent finally goes for Sunfall. I am gonna let that go. I could Soul Partition this one, but it's probably fine. So what I can do is I can make the token, swing, make our swing, make our opponent pay for this. Soul Partition that. Opponent could respond with their own Soul Partition. I'm actually fine with it. We're at the point where we're trying to get rid of these cards. I'm also at the point where I kind of want to cast this X equals 2 now. It's 3 or less, so I can actually cast it with Flash. So it's not a full reload. Hornlock Whale. Yeah, that's fine. I could reprieve it, but kind of pointless. Our opponent does have drawn into more cards, so yeah, we're just waiting to see. So we'll see what happens. Maybe our opponent has a lot of reprieves. So so we actually get a reprieve back. They get their card back, but they lose both copies of the One Ring, so which is important. So now our opponent has to win by Horde Lock Whale. We can also go for it ourselves, but honestly speaking, we're better off just making tokens. And X equals 2. There's no need to be that greedy. Okay, there we go. Not bad. So another soul partition. One is actually gonna now just take the hit. So this does have flash. I could just we'll cost 4 each time. I guess it's worth it. Opponent makes their own token, so we can now do this. So actually it has to be attacking first. Alternately, I could just cast this now, though we will be one short if we're trying to prevent. Yeah, we'll let it pass. We'll go for the Lagoon Breach first. Okay, opponent lets it go back up top, sure. I gotta check if he chose. Oh, he chose bottom. Okay, that's interesting. So I suspect there's another Sunfall incoming. Maybe our opponent does have another whale in Horned Lock Whale incoming. There you go. So partition. At least we're getting them to use those up, so I'm not too concerned about like how many of these did they use up already? Just one? Okay, that's not great. We ended up using more of those than they did. I could cast this main, but we'll pass. We really want to have our own Sunfall, but so far that is kind of missing. So it looks like our game plan now is just, well, we're actually about to draw more cards than our opponent if we go Silver Scrutiny. We might have to. I'm not gonna go Soul Partition. Where no one's gonna be winning by poison at this rate. 4 cards, virtually 5. We'll just do the same thing. 1:1, then just see if our opponent has a response, like scattering. Yeah, let's get that out of the way. Activating Crossroads. We can do that instant speed. Yeah, the fact we didn't hit any of our sunfalls yet is kind of annoying. And there's our land. I guess we can afford to take one hit. So we're probably gonna do we're gonna do impulse end of turn. We'll have to take we'll just take this hit. One is actually they're just gonna go for poison. That's fine. I could soul partition one of these, but okay, there's our sunfall. So I'm trying to think of which cards are. Probably reprieve, which we can then reprieve. It's gonna become a reprieve battle. Better yet, I might as well let it resolve, then try again. We can afford to take hits. They're just gonna soul partition to exile it. It'll cost more, but that's on them. And it does use up this card, and it does use up that card, so I'm actually okay with it. I think no, it doesn't cost more because they soul partition their own thing. That's fine. Let's see if they go for the Hornlock Whale. Nope, they did not. They're actually waiting for the Scatter Ray backup. So in that case, we're gonna make our own tokens. Oh, there's our backup Sunfall. See what our opponent has in store. There's a Hornlock Whale. Oh, it's attacking creature you don't control, so you don't get to do that. I could soul partition this just to get rid of this altogether. Which might be a neat trick. Let's do that. If we can strand their Hornlock Whale, let's do that. So they've already used 2 Sunfalls. No, they've used 1 Sunfall so far. Yeah, we're fine. We have now drawn more cards than they have, so we're the ones who have to be careful now. In fact, if we hit 1 ring, we're actually more likely to mill out, so that's another problem. Yeah, we might actually lose this game just because of this, but this is probably one of the admittedly worst midweek Magic events, so I might not even bother with this one that much. Teferi Temporal Pilgrim. Can't Scatter Ray it. Yeah, maybe we should have kept that soul partition. We really would have needed that. Yeah, they'll just end up casting it again. And again for the 3rd time, so that's a problem. Yeah, not like that I'm burning all of these here, but now we're hitting all our lands. Opponent now gonna pass. This one we have to let resolve now. Now I could sunfall these two just to get another one of these, but that feels like overkill. Our scatter rays now have lost their value, so to speak. When it's going for Teferi.
Faced with tragedy, even absurd.
I'm actually hoping they do start drawing cards. Well, making that is fine too, I suppose. We can then go for Sunfall on this. I could also just drop a whale. See if we can start crashing into this. The opponent's gonna drop their own whale, so change of plans. We're gonna change of plans. We are gonna Sunfall. I'll just make a token just to make this bigger. And now we can activate this. Take out the ferry before it goes any bigger. Yep. I was gonna say that if they had the way to draw cards, they would have been able to dodge that, but we managed to dodge that instead. We got ourselves a good Sunfall there. And we took out their Teferi as well, which is pretty neat. We might have to just start going for direct damage at this point. Opponent has used one Sunfall so far, that's the concern. I know the deck has a full play set. It's also incentive to hold this one back if we can. Let's see what they have next. Union of Third Path, draw a card, gain some life. It's okay because it's no longer about the life at this point. Making tokens, sure. Opponent might try to hit us for one with this, but then we can hit back for two, so it's not bad. Union of Third Path, yeah, destroying cards. That's all they're doing now. They're bound to hit another Sunfall soon. Which is why I'm sandbagging this. Yeah, opponent concedes. Looks like we dodged it. We actually managed to take out two copies of the One Ring as well. That was way too long, and I have to say that if that's the representation of Alchemy, I do not want to play Alchemy. The decks, I bet that they intentionally underpowered those decks. But even then, that does not explain why we have decks that have way too many mythics and rares in their requirements. So we're gonna try out one more deck. Try not Boros Equipment because that's way too narrow. The mid-range deck has a bunch of cards that I probably should be crafting anyway, so I'll go for that. Captivating Crossroads is gonna be the big backbreaker. I'm gonna have to craft these anyway, but this is definitely a lot cheaper and a lot more playable, so I'll play this one. Let's see if I like this as much as I like the idea of the standard version of Golgari midrange. As it is, I am not impressed by. Well, the reason I'm not impressed is because of the way they set up the format. They really should have just they're even giving us Haunted Mire as if they're afraid to give us actual good lands. Okay, we have to keep this. Don't like the idea we're giving up Skyfish or Spider, but we are kind of giving up multiple turns. I'm gonna play this because I probably don't want to play Gix right away. This might even, because I suspect this might be this is the control deck, so no rush. In fact, I don't think, in fact, with the deck as it is, I probably don't mind smacking our opponent with the Ruins Recluse for quite a while. Opponent will eventually have a 1-1 answer, but let's force them to have it. We definitely want to have a 4th land though. Okay, we hit our 4th land, so we have 2 options here. I can play Gix. So if this hits, that will net me a card. Or better yet, I'm knowing that this is the control deck, I'm probably better off just hitting for 1, passing the turn. Let's force our opponent to have spells like Union of Third Path and whatnot. This is then probably end of turn just put a +1/+1 counter. Yeah, this is very weird as a deck. I'm not too happy with it. I would not be surprised if they go Soul Partition. That's perfectly fine. I need them to burn their removal spells more or less. Yeah, like that's fine. In fact, it's so fine, I don't mind just casting this again. There is an argument for, say, dropping like a Glissa Sunslayer next turn. Our opponent is representing Scatter Ray though, so let's just do this again. If they want to counter this, it's fine. If not, they just held up 2 mana. They don't have another. They only have another copy of Impulse, so that's kind of a whiff. Opponent could also start making Mirrex tokens, but then we get to go Virtue Persistence. They're just going to draw more cards. That's fine. This is the 3rd time I've encountered the Azorius control deck. Sure, it can get annoying, but if you don't overextend to it habitually, you should be fine. Like there, our opponent had to give up cards now, because we're not giving them anything to do. That said, our opponent's not giving us anything to do either, so that is a problem as well. Union of Third Path, sure, draw cards. We're just basically making their Sunfall feel very expensive. They just used another Impulse, okay. And opponent does have a few creatures, namely their whales. I don't want to grow this too big because if our opponent does have the goes for the whale, I actually might just kill my own recluse instead. Soul Partition again, sure, that's fine. Oh, this is sorcery speed. Okay, so there is a limitation there. Non-artifact, and this is definitely an artifact. Okay. So... yeah, so Go for the Throat does have a weakness issue here. I could just cast Glissa right now. I ideally prefer Gix. Let's start with the Virtue of Persistence, see how our opponent responds to this. But now I can see how we can easily lose here. We only have a Gix's command as a board wipe here. But I don't mind actually casting Ruin's Recluse now. Even if all our opponent does is makes tokens, I can actually just chump block one of them. And I'm actually going to be fine with it. Yeah, opponent now has the mana to start making multiples. I always thought, yeah, this being sorcery speed is a bummer. So I can go Virtue of Persistence, though that does eat up my entire turn. I can go Shield Red, which our opponent they've only used one soul partition no, they've used two so far. I can force them to have a turret. I can force them to have a no. If they have a scatter ray, I need to have something that can counter. Let's just go Glissa first. If they have a scatter ray, I can pay for it. If they have a soul partition, I need them to start using it up. But here's the conundrum. Our opponent will eventually get to the point where like they if I overcommit, they make a Sunfall. They drop a Sunfall and that's how we lose. I can go Gix's command, they just I'm actually just waiting for them to drop some. Yeah, they drop their own Sunfall. I can go for the throat my own creature, which would make this one. But then again, with the amount of damage I'm taking, it's not consequential to begin with. But it's an exile effect, and I do want to get it back. And this is an upkeep effect also, so that is another problem. Like if I go for this, if our opponent reprieves, it's not too bad. Yeah, let's just go for this. Opponent will have to soul partition this, and they've used the two so far. We are in danger because we are going to be halfway up in poison. Opponent has no reason to transform this. Alright, just get back to Ruins Recluse. Basically, our strat now is mitigating what is basically trying to mitigate the damage from Sunfall. Our opponent's fired off only one Sunfall so far. I need to force them to fire off more. Problem is that with these being go for the throats and not cut downs actually hurts us a lot in this matchup. I would kill for one of these being cut. I would kill for these being cut downs instead. Then again, this won't hit the whale, so that might be an issue as well, I guess. Opponent has the one ring, can't really do anything about that. Kind of hoping that our opponent kills himself with the ring instead. If they're drawing now, probably means that they don't have the Sunfall quite yet. Yeah, that's a forced return. Oh, hold on. This is indestructible, so I can't destroy that non-land permanent. I'm playing this one just as a safe play. Destroy target non-land permanent. Yeah, we're gonna lose this one actually, now that I think of it. Like, I could play Shield Red, but at this point, Yeah, because we're playing living in fear at this rate. Good news is our opponents only. Yeah, they don't. I need them to play out all of those some sunfalls. And this being indestructible means that Skyfish or Spider doesn't really do much in this matchup. Opponent's now halfway through their deck. Now we need to see if we can go make them go all the way. We did make them use their second Sunfall. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Yeah, we there's a scatter ray. Yeah, we'll pay the 4. So we'll see if they now we'll see if they actually start drawing any more with the One Ring or no. If they had the other, that was their third Sunfall. So now we just need to. But then again, we probably start dying to these instead. Yeah, white cards like Wary Thespian, they don't do anything. Actually, kind of safer. Actually, safer to put that there. You get it for free. I could play. I can play Gix. Let's see if we can force them to go for the fourth one. Maybe we should have played Gix first instead of Shield Tread. Our opponent was willing to cast Sunfall. Because now our opponent's. Yeah, don't. So now the problem is our opponent's going to start bashing us with these tokens. Union of Third Path, draw a card, gain some life. That's the least egregious one. It just makes the game longer. Opponent probably should go for the largest one if they want to push for damage. Now I think of it, seek a card with mana value greater. If their hand is always full, they're not gonna hit anything. Probably want to keep the Gix's command, so let's just pay 1. Wait, is that the right away? Hold on. Hold on, let's see. You may play lands and cat. Ah, that's a one-shot instruction. So definitely taking out their largest counter. So I can, yeah, I swing with this one. Let's force our opponent to let's force our opponent to animate one of these or something. Horned Lock Whale. Sure, stay on top. Yeah, I really wish I had Shield Red now, but this is fine. At least I know the second chapter does nothing. Oh, this is mana value equal. So they can go for a silver scrutiny, but that's gonna be very painful. Opponent finally uses their last Sunfall, so that's it. No more Sunfall. They cast. That is their last One Ring, so now let's see if we can survive the long game. Man, this is going on very long already as it is. Yeah, Virtual Persistence not very good in the matchup where your opponent can exile your stuff. That said, opponent's down to 16 cards in their library. Maybe, so it's a question of if we can survive these. Let's start forcing them to use their spells. Okay, that's fine. One is still willing to draw cards after all this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They have 7 cards in hand, so it has to be exact. Yeah, they passed it. They did not go for it. So this would have been nice. Yeah, we're gonna exile it because we can kind of get it back. So we have 2 choices here. There's Reprieve, they draw a card. Let's make them spend as much of it as possible. Basically, I'm trying to force them to use as many cards in their hand as I can. So they're now down to 12. Into another. The second Horned Lock Whale is a problem. And they might start animating these. 6. 12, 16, yeah, that's it. That's game. So we didn't quite get there. Yeah, that was probably our worst matchup. I'm gonna probably do this one more time, see if we can get a matchup that is... See if we can get a matchup that's not control, but if it's control again, we're probably doomed. Yes, and as you can see, I'm trying my best to avoid crafting the other 2 decks. Not giving us the decks. Yeah, I would prefer this as a Phantom format, if anything. Even give us Old Man Will, Besiege the Mirror. Okay, this one is fine. Opponent mulls. So we probably just do the sorcery, draw a card, lose a life because we kind of need to hit our lands here. Yeah, Besiege the Mirror is it's definitely mid range. Does it make it good? Shit. Okay, this is a 5-color deck. Whatever it is, I am not It's probably a 5 color deck, so whatever it is, I'm not waiting around. Definitely always snipe the mana elf, expensive as it may be. So if we don't hit the land, we probably just go with Mosswood Dread Knights, see if we can hit our land that way. Yeah, we'll have to do that. Okay, we did not hit our land, so that's a problem. Yeah, this is definitely mid-range. When it's hitting their crossroads. Thankfully, Lockwain's Scorn can kill that one, so we're able to take that one out. Aragorn, if I hit their Aragorn the Uniter, we don't have any creatures in the yard. Old Man Willow attacks, you may sacrifice target creature opponent. We're just gonna have to do this. Even if the plan is to just chump block with chump block Aragorn. So if I block with both of them, he just sacrifices Boromir. They get a free ring tempt. Is that fine? I think that's fine. I need them to get. I need them to sacrifice Boromir. So we have quite a lot of black, so let's go for green. So we do have to take the next hit. Ooh, this is a problem. So as another legendary creature goes, they get a zombie copy that's not legendary. I'm 1 mana away from hitting Shelob. I probably do want to trade anyway. Okay, we haven't missed our land drop yet. Let's see if we hit. No, we missed it. So nope, that's not the one. This is the one. Yeah, missing our land drops really hurts here. Like you see, we're stuck with a lot of fours, and we're stuck with a lot of fours. There's even a 6. Beseech the Mirror is always. I've never thought Beseech the Mirror was a good card. Basically, this one is here to discourage these from attacking, though the tokens might still attack. We're still going to eat the hit from Aragorn. If we can't hit our 6 mana to play Shelob, we're in trouble. I would definitely want to hit it, prefer hitting it anyway, so I could play Shieldred Vran is also an acceptable option. Shieldred Mossworth Knight's also a good choice too. I don't see a reason why our opponent's timing out here. Our opponent is technically in a winning position. Like even if I have to chump block this, if I take all of this, that takes me down to 10, actually takes me down to 9. Yeah, so this doesn't make sense. There's no reason for our opponent to be conceding here. I do appreciate it in the sense that it saves me the trouble of having to play hope for a 6 land. Also, if we played Shelob, whenever create a token that's a copy of that creature except it's a food artifact. So we get ourselves a food, and no, we still can't block Aragorn with this. So that's a problem. We really have to play Shieldred. Okay, so we still missed our land drop. So definitely play Wary Thespian to get our Surveil. Go for the Throat is definitely fine. And we'll play Vran because we... Let's see if our opponents come back. At least now we have kind of a game plan. We skipped our land drop, but we can snipe the Aragorn at least. One interesting play that and I think it's a pretty good one if you don't mind, is actually just to play, if you have another Aragorn in hand, just cast him. You're getting 4 pretty decent effects for it, so it's not a big loss. You don't have to just wait for this one to go. I think our opponent might have disconnected for either technical reasons or real world reasons. This is not a concede worthy board. And if I'm not mistaken, I've played against this player before. This player does finish their games, so might have been an actual situation. So we'll take this some free win as it is, but it's definitely not deserved. All in all, if I'm going to get inspiration from any of the decks in here, I won't. Honestly speaking, even if it's underpowered on purpose, I still feel like the decks are quite bad for the most part. If this is representative of Alchemy, it definitely makes me not want to play the format. But it is what it is. That is what we have here. Definitely not trying to out the other 2 decks. 5 color legends. Like how many cards will I need to craft that? I can craft the commons, but the wild cards are, the rare and mythic wild cards are not worth it. Boros, a bunch of wild cards also. 7, I can craft them, but you have to be smart about what to craft. That's it. The Boros equipment deck doesn't look that bad. Though I feel like it's missing a Godric. Especially if you're running Anduril. Too many 1 and 2 offs for the most part. Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode of Magic Arena Run. If you like what you saw, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, turn on notifications, and whatnot. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope to see you guys again next time. Take care. God bless. Stay safe wherever you are. Have a great week, everyone. Do take care.